Hello there my fellow holotable heroes and welcome to another video today. I already started Galactic Challenge a bit earlier. Luckily it was easy and straightforward because this gives us now more time to digest all the news and updates CG dropped on us last night, while at least personally while I was sleeping. So in this video I want to go through all of it. So there's apparently an issue with Jedi Master Mace window event. We obviously had a big update, a huge response from CG, very long post explaining why Relic Delta, right? Just yesterday I released a video asking like, why Relic Delta? CG never announced it, and they responded with a very detailed response. And then finally also they released the kit for B-Wing, so we'll be looking at the very end of the video. So just quickly see this very short post about Jedi Master Mace Windu. Apparently there's an issue. They are not able to fix the current run, they said. However, they will aim to get a rerun of the event with the next update. So I don't know what that means, that they will let the current event run and then start it again next week. I don't know. Personally, I was able to get it unlocked. I even posted a video yesterday, which many of you already seen it and were able to get it done. They didn't exactly specify what the issue is, but I think I've seen some comments talking about the tier 1 was much easier than before. Maybe other tiers as well. I don't know. We're still kind of able to get it through, but if you're struggling currently to get the Master Mace Windu event done, just wait until they released a fixed event sometimes, I guess next week or in 2 weeks, whenever the next update drops. So very quickly going through that, and now I guess the big news, why Relic Delta. Now it's a very long post, I'm not gonna read it through it, you can read it in your own time. I'm just gonna give you a summary and some of my thoughts about it. As you can see, they go through detail explaining about the different progression systems, what kind of progression system is used here, scalability, right, possible solutions that they got feedback from community what they could do, and explaining why, you know, they think they are not good solutions, and about variations of Relic Delta and so on. You can again go ahead and read that in your own time. Instead, what we want to talk about a little bit is just give you a quick summary, basically my takeaways from this, so you don't have to read the entire thing. Now, essentially what they're saying is that Relic Delta is not something like totally new in the game, that it's kind of like an extension of the level data we have. When we mean level data, I think they refer to like level 85 at the moment, right? So at the start of the game, you maybe have level 30, 20, 40 going up against level 60, 70, 80. There already is some sort of delta between different unit levels that kind of, you know, offset defense, offense and things like that. It already kind of nerfs a little bit the damage if you have lower level unit versus higher level unit. Now, why this isn't much of a problem these days as maybe it was when the game launched is getting units to level 85. I don't know. I'm not a new player, but I don't hear anyone complaining they're struggling with leveling up units. I guess the inflow of credits now is a lot higher than it was back when we started nearly 10 years ago. So it's not completely new mechanic to the game. They just want to also add this delta, move it from levels onto the relics, because level itself it's been fixed at 85 for a very long time. Then another point they obviously put forward, which we all know, is that Relic 9 is really not worth investing. Like outside of a few examples, like maybe tanks, Malgus, right, he deals more damage, he's got health. You also have Master Luke, you get more damage from inherited teachings because he got more protection. So certain units, just selected units, get a big boost at Relic 9 either through health and protection. So they may be worth investing, others not. So that's what they want to do really with Relic Delta, kind of address these, that actually going to Relic 8, 9 is actually worth the investment. But why this now suddenly out of the blue? Guess what? They are releasing Relic 10. They just came out of the blue, right? Nobody expected this. And my own personal conclusion, they didn't say this, but my own personal conclusion is this. they basically want to introduce Relic 10, which makes sense, like Relic 9 has been released 4 years ago, right? We are way overdue for the next Relic level. However, with the current Relic system, as you can see, going to Relic 9 hardly any benefit. So if they introduce Relic 10 without any changes to the Relic system, most people will just ignore Relic 10 for the most part, which means not many will invest it, because I'm assuming it's going to be very, very costly to get to Relic 10, at least initially. So with Relic data, they introduce a system where you almost have to go to Relic 9 to stay competitive, right? So they kind of create this environment where Relic 9 is worth the investment, Relic 10 is worth the investment if you do invest in it. So yeah, that's how it looks like to me. Now, to offset this, there are some changes coming to the game, all right? We don't have a lot of details yet, so we'll have to wait and see. But these new changes should help us out with getting more high relic, like even Relic 9s. So we'll again have to wait and see how that will go. Now, some of the things they want to address with these changes is, you know, the increasing relics of existing units while also allowing to keep going, leveling up new units. Because it's kind of, I guess, at the moment that we kind of have the dilemma, right? Like, I've been spending all of my crystals on purchasing signal data and relic material to push as many units as I can to Relic 9, because I'm doing territory battle video guides on Sector 5 and Sector 6 planets. Now, if obviously you're not a content creator, you probably don't want to do this, then you could hoard all your crystals, and when the new marquee drops, you can invest those crystals into new units, get them to, you know, 5-6 stars when the marquee event drops. Or like me, put everything into relics and then slow farm them for a few months when they become farmable. So kind of they will try to help us out with that, you know, we won't have to make that hard decision between keep rallying up old units and gearing up new units. So in order to address this, they will change how we get and level up new characters. Again, more details follow later, so not sure what will be, but this will allow us to progress through gear and lower relic levels, whatever that means, maybe up to level relic 3, maybe 5, without needing, okay, to use gear and relic materials, which then in turn will free up these resources to level up older characters. So it looks like there'll be some new ways that we can gear up and relic characters. So what does that mean? More lightspeed tokens? Because that's essentially what lightspeed tokens do at the moment, right? They just allows you to take a unit to a certain gear or relic level. Maybe something else, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for more details. Then also they'll be making some adjustments for the droid brains. So you will be actually able to get droid brains here from scavenger nodes. At the moment we can't do that. And they will also be adding higher signal data to scavenger. They didn't exactly specify what higher means, but reading kind of the rest of it, it kind of makes sense, because Relic 10 will use new signal data, not existing one, so it doesn't kind of disrupt your Relic 9 and below signal data farming. This new signal data will be available in scavenger. That's why I think that's what they mean by higher relic signal data will be available here in scavenger. We don't know what these exchange rates will be, right? So again, have to wait and see how the economy that will work. And also this new signal data will be available in other game modes. You won't be able to farm it like in Cantina like we do existingly. On top of it, earning it in other game modes, there will also be a new game modes, new updates, and also updates to era-related events, allowing us to get new characters straight away to earn valuable rewards. So again, we don't have a lot of details what this means, but maybe what this actually means is that, you know, we have these era battles that requires you to have relic 5, 7, 9 units to get the highest tier. Maybe they will just loan us like event units just for that event at high relics, so we can earn the rewards, because it just says we'll be able to get new characters straight away to earn valuable rewards, not like you'll be able to get new characters straight away, period. So a bit of, I guess, room there for speculation what this means, but I doubt they will just give us fully relic units for free, right? It doesn't quite make sense. So as you can see, this post really raises more questions than answer, if you ask me. So again, we'll have to wait for more details before we can understand the whole picture of the impact of relic data. So if they, by the sound of it, what they're trying to do is kind of move the economy from, you know, farming shards, farming gear, but more like, you know, change the focus of our economy for, I don't know, bringing units from Relic 5 to Relic 9. So if they do lots of things to kind of help us out to maybe make, you know, units getting them to Relic 5 as trivial as it's now to get a character to gear 12, and then getting it from Relic 5 to Relic 9 is kind of as trivial as getting character to gear 13 at the moment, then in the end this might not be as bad. But again, it's hard to say without what those details actually are. But definitely it looks like shift in the economy will happen. I don't know, will it happen all at once? But I imagine they'll just go in stages. Now, Relic Delta in itself is still not the solution, I think, that we all want. However, if you know, it looks like it's happening no matter what. So at least CG, if you are introducing relic data that will basically require us to invest more relics, at least before you introduce relic delta, a little bit make it easy, give us an update first that gives us a month or two to be able to relic up more of our units. Give us these new events, right? New ways to earn characters, new ways to gain relic, and then drop relic delta. Don't just drop relic delta first and then provide the solution, right? Because that's what CG normally does. They drop a problem, after a while they give us the solution. How about you give us the solution first and then give us the problem? So at least we are better prepared for the impact of relic delta. Again, lots of details around, you know, the relic delta itself, what those final stats figures will be. No idea whatsoever. Again, lots of unanswered questions, lots of details to follow about everything. So let's just stay calm in the meantime, right? And we'll get through it. And, you know, as the updates go through, we'll start slowly forming the entire picture of how this will all look like. And finally, B-Wing has been added to the game. Again, I'm not gonna read this through, you can read it in your own time. I'm just gonna give you like a summary of the points that CG made and then quickly give you a cheat sheet for the kits, so you get like a quick picture of what this ship will do. So let's go ahead and bring up the sheet and we'll talk about it. Okay, so essentially what they're saying is the purpose of B-Wing is to lift up Home 1 fleet in line with other similar investment fleets. This is a bit of an interesting term, similar investment, because Home 1 is a starting fleet. So what does that mean? That it's going to become similar to Endurance, similar to Executrix, because those are starting fleets. But then Empire, right, they do have like conquest ships and things like that, so there are high investments. So does that only mean that Home 1 will be able to compete with Endurance? I guess we'll have to wait for testing to understand what that actually means. Also, Drogon will be the pilot. You will also be able to earn Drogon shards in the Marquee events. If you don't have Drogon unlocked yet, don't worry, you will get some shards for him as well. It is designed to be used without Scoundrel allies. So what this essentially means, if you do have Falcon and Outrider on Home 1, you will lose some of the bonuses, which is kind of okay, I guess, because, you know, then at least Falcon and Outrider kind of stay with Profundity. But as we know, once ships hit, we try to, you know, do all kinds of stuff in testing and usually find some mechanics that work together that CG not intended it. So I guess we'll reserve the final judgment. Can you use them with Falcon and Outrider or not? Now, also in addition to this, Home 1 will get a new effect to its unique ability that will allow to reinforce B-Wing immediately at the start of the battle. I guess the part of that unique would also be if there are no scoundrel allies or something. So Home 1 will get a small update to get better synergy with B-Wing. And most importantly, as you can see from the cheat sheet itself, B-Wing doesn't have so many ifs and buts as the Rogue One did, but the majority of the good stuff that they bring is basically tied behind being under Home 1 lead, but it doesn't have all these restrictions and bonuses like versus Empire, versus Sith like Rogue One did, so its kit is a little bit easier to understand, which is understandable, right, because Home 1 isn't as powerful of Profundity, so I guess they didn't have to introduce so many restrictions to its kit. So let's go ahead and have a look at the kit now. So the basic ability, this is the first one here, 20% chance to inflict target lock, yay! And then if the enemy was already target locked, inflict evasion down. Okay. However, under Home 1, we have 100% chance to inflict target lock, and also B-Wing gives itself offense subs. So you can see a huge boost to its basic, but which I guess, you know, when we call it to assist, lots of target locks, it's gonna be important. Then the special ability, it's gonna be an AoE, and it will inflict accuracy and defense down on the enemy. It also dispels debuffs on B-Wing itself, and if the enemy was target locked, it will inflict daze. Now daze is a very powerful mechanic, it shuts down a lot of fleets, so I think spreading target lock and then hitting them with an AoE to inflict daze. However, daze can be resisted, so it's not irresistible, so we'll have to wait and see in practice how powerful this will be. If Home 1 is the capital ship, this ability will also call a random ally with defense up to assist. It's a conditional call, right? To assist, they have to have defense up, and then also grant whoever you call to assist critical damage up. Then the crew ability, so that's the Drogon ability, the special one, will starts on cooldown, and cooldown is 5. It's also an AoE, so we got 2 AoEs on here, and B-Wing will gain critical damage up to itself. If Home 1 is the capital ship, the cooldown of this ability gets reduced to 1 at the start of the battle. So you can use it, I guess, on the second turn, because otherwise cooldown would be 0. But being of cooldown 1 means you can keep spamming this AoE after the first turn over and over again, if I'm reading it correctly. And then it will also inflict evasion down, so it's an AoE evasion down. And if the enemies already had evasion down, you deal ability block to them and 100% bonus damage. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see, like, this evasion down, how this all interacts. And then the unique, when B-Wing is damaged, it'll get 25% turn meter and retribution. How useful this will be, again, we'll have to wait and see, because, you know, if you have a tank in there like Biggs, outside of AoEs, does B-Wing get damaged? Lots of ships have day, like, you know, if you go versus Negotiator, you get days, so retribution, turn meter gains don't happen. We'll have to wait and see in practice how useful this will actually be. And then whenever B-Wing attacks out of turn, reduce cooldowns of Home 1 by 1, excluding reinforcements. And then finally, the reinforcement ability, all allies gain advantage up and defense up, right? So that's what'll happen. You reinforce B-Wing, you give defense up to everybody, you use the AoE, right? And then we'll call somebody with defense up to assist. So I guess that's where defense up is coming from. And if it's under Home 1, if there are no Scoundrel allies, right? No Falcon, no Outrider, heck, even if you want to do a mixed match like with a Houndstooth starting, this won't work. Home 1 gets a bonus turn and resets its cooldown, excluding reinforcements. And if you remember, we mentioned Home 1's ability will get updated, that you can reinforce B-Wing straight away. So on turn 1, Home 1 reinforces B-Wing, and then B-Wing gives Home 1 bonus turn. Yeah, how cool is that? So basically you reinforce, but you don't miss the turn with the reinforcement. So I think this could be very powerful mechanic, right? Because you come in, you do an AoE or get some target locks out, then Home 1's got as well some, I think, AoE as mass assist ability, right? Again, calling to assist, more target locks, more attacks out of turn. So this potentially could be a good fleet. But the question is, what can we beat this? We'll have to figure out when we test it. I guess Biggs, Raven's Claw, and Beaston's Ewing will be starting, because it's kind of like the default starting lineup more or less for Home 1, right? After Profondi takes away Falcon and Outrider and Y-Wing. Now, Home 1 already beat some of these other fleets with this, so hopefully B-Wing will lift it up to, you know, beat Negotiator, Malevolence, Cyrus, Executrix, Chimera, because those are really the ships you see on defense these days outside of the GL ships. Otherwise, they'll have very little use in the end game if you can't beat those, right? What is it helpful if you can beat Finalizer with it? No, you know, you don't see Finalizer on defense these days anymore. However, maybe in the early game, mid game, this could be a useful boost where Home 1 is still used more, where maybe people don't have so many GL ships yet. Or maybe giving us all these lifters for different fleets means the expansion of the fleet zones in Grand Arena in Territory Wars. Maybe have to put 4 ships on defense in Grand Arena. Another zone, an extra couple of zones in Territory Wars, 1 for units, 1 for ships. I don't know. Nothing would surprise me anymore these days with all the Relic Delta news we've been bombarded lately. Nothing would surprise me anymore if they mix up something else in the game at the same time. And there you have it, guys. That's all for this video. Again, a bit longer one. I didn't want to make like 2 separate videos, you know, just kind of mixed all the news that we got last night into one video. Again, chapters are always there if you want to skip to a particular section. Thank you for watching, guys. Again, just hang in there. Maybe Relic Delta, you know, if they do offset how difficult it is to gear on Relic units, maybe it's not gonna be that not have that much of a negative impact on the game. Let's just wait until we get more details, right? So just stay calm in the meantime, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.